Everyone has that moment of fear before they start speaking, that hesitation that makes your heart boom in your chest. No matter how adept you are, how practiced at speaking, you will always have that happen. It is our human nature to fear rejection and judgment of the crowd. Yet sometimes we must think of all the work we put in, the importance of our message, and the experience we are left behind after our speech. We have to grit our teeth, imagine people in their underwear, and just stand up and do it. Personally, when I got this topic, I immediately wanted to change. What can I do with a topic that literally says, it's your moment to speak, you've earned it, now enjoy it with your listeners? Frankly, I don't enjoy listening to myself talk. Maybe some people do, but it's not my favorite thing in the world to do. So what do you do with 3 short sentences I don't agree with? A topic that's fairly topical. I make it up. Making it up is probably not the best thing to admit you do. Yet, when you're writing a speech, you're doing all this research, all this soul searching, and yet sometimes you just have to put yourself into it. You try finding something, anything that relates to what you're supposed to be talking about. You look through websites, you look through books, articles, you look through your textbook, which isn't much help sometimes. And finally, you get to the point where enough is enough. You have to start doing it with what you know. Don't try to deny that you don't do this. We all do this. We stick a little part of ourselves in each of our speeches, and we make it our own. It's our baby, and we work so hard to say the words in front of someone else. And it's so hard to do that, and that's why you're afraid of being judged or embarrassed when you're saying this, because it is your baby. So, then we are in front of the crowd. Pairs of eyes looking at you expectantly. Everyone wants you to do something, yet you freeze. If you're like me, you have a speech impediment, and it mixes up your words without your permission. You have no control over it, and it happens mostly when you're really nervous or unable to slow down. Like right now, not happening so much because this is my element. But say if I were in front of a crowd of people doing this, it would be completely different. I would be stumbling all over the place. I'd be a mess. And your information is important. So you have to remember, they're here, they're going to listen because they want to know what you have to share. So you have to use the fact that you know what you're sharing is important to draw them in and to make them listen. So what you're saying is important, and you should always keep that in mind. And then before you know it, the speech is over. You poured your heart out in your own little way in this little speech, whether you're talking about the weather or you're talking about something bigger. The relief is immediate. You're still shaking as you sit down and the next person starts. You're not paying attention to them because you're still going over what you did. What did you do wrong? What did you do at all? Do you remember? And what you're left with is the experience. Your information is important to those who are listening, but the experience is important to you because the experience is going to shape the rest of your speeches from now until your dying day. Because every time you give a speech, you're left with something and the audience is left with something. It's one more time that you've spoken in front of a group of people, and every time you speak, it gets easier. You're still going to be nervous, but it's going to get easier. And hopefully you've made your audience think of a new thought in their heads that they'll always remember. And in all your effort that you put in, and you conveyed something important, and then you got something out of it. That's something that you should always keep in mind. So while you hesitate in front of that podium, know that everyone has been there before. But you're brave because you're standing up and you're just doing it. Thank you.